up, YouTubers? This is Coast Julido again, and this is why I will not be seeing Star Wars Episode 7. A lot of fans are really hype about it. Disney has pulled out all the stops for advertising for Star Wars Episode 7. I mean, it's gotten ridiculous now. If you haven't seen a Star Wars advertisement, then you're clearly living under a rock. I mean, they have advertising for Star Wars oranges, Star Wars Campbell soup, Star Wars. It's gotten you get the idea. It's gotten ridiculous. They have Star Wars makeup, like really. And it just seems like they're so desperate to appeal to everyone, to every, casual, or whatever. I don't even like using that word, but sometimes you gotta. Yeah, but it seems like they're so desperate to appeal to everyone, that they've completely forgotten about the fan base that's carried them through some of the worst times. They've forgotten about the prequel fans. They've forgotten about fans of the EU, fans of Star Wars. Well, what is now Star Wars Legends. They've forgotten about us, and that's one of the reasons why I'm boycotting it. I'm not seeing it. And I'm just Star Wars Episode 7 is rolling around in about 2 days. And I just feel nothing. I feel nothing but a little bit of disappointment. And everyone else is just so hype. They don't know. They don't know what we've been through as fans, and we've seen Star Wars rebooted. Fans of Star Wars from the beginning, we've seen Star Wars rebooted when Disney purchased it and basically dumped all the expanded universe content. Over 30-something years of Star Wars history just wiped out, and it's just like, to us, Disney is an evil empire, and Disney is the empire, and we feel like rebels against that, and it shouldn't have to be that way. If Disney respected the integrity of the series, it wouldn't be that way. No one would be complaining at all. If they hadn't divided the fan base more than what it already was, because from what I gather, what I've seen so far, Disney has tried nothing new except but to sort of pander to and just seek to appease the fans of the original trilogy. Fans who think, like, the original trilogy was the best because, the prequels just have too much CGI. That's the big complaint from them. There's just too much CGI everywhere, and then that's why the prequels weren't good. But they failed to realize that Lucas would have. He would have done that anyway if he had that technology in the 70s. Another reason why I'm not seeing Star Wars Episode 7, besides that huge lack of respect with the reboot, is just because it's so lazy. I mean, it's just, I mean, the reboot is just a lazy move and a classless move. I mean, they could have just made an on-screen adaptation and no one would have cared. But yeah, just the division between fans. You have fans of the picture before the Disney buyout was you had fans that were strictly OT or original trilogy fans and just hate everything that isn't the original trilogy, including the prequels and all the expanded universe / Legends content, and backup stories that are in the comics, the video games, and stuff like that before the reboot. Now, after the reboot, you're gonna have those OT fans who thump like Empire Strikes Back is like the greatest thing to ever hit, the world since sliced bread, and it isn't. The original trilogy has its own faults. But after episode 7, there's gonna be just a whole bunch of those guys, along with us. Well, EU fans or fans of the Legends continuity, as well as the new fan base that's coming in that just wants to see anything that has a Star Wars logo on it. And it's saddening that they'll never know like some of the characters that we read about, some of the characters that we, as Star Wars Legends and Star Wars original canon fans know and love. It's a shame that they'll never know who Jason Solo is, who the Yuuzhan Vong were, how badass of a Grandmaster Luke was, even though he turned to the dark side. And it's amazing that there are still some idiots out there who consider the expanding universe to not be canon, even though it was stated multiple times in multiple interviews by what was his name? The Holocron Keeper. That guy. The Holocron Keeper. They did several interviews with him where he confirmed that the expanded universe was canon. I included the links in the description. You guys can check it out for yourselves. But yeah, it's unbelievable just how stupid some people are. They still persist that it was never canon, even though Lucas approved approved of all the stuff being done with his universe for 30 plus years. So all of a sudden it was just never canon. Yeah. So you have a lot of idiots out there that just can't accept it. And there are also some people that want to pick and choose what's canon, and they don't realize that Disney says that the entirety of the Legends, besides Clone Wars, is non-canon anymore to them. And they mean that. These people are still in denial, like, nah, but we like Revan though. Well, you guys, you don't get it. To Disney, Legends is no longer canon. And if you guys are confused as to what I'm saying when I say Legends and real canon, it's kind of complicated. When Disney rebooted, they were basically like, okay, we're gonna reboot all of Star Wars, except for the 6 movies. Those are the pillars of Star Wars the Star Wars universe. We're gonna reboot all of it except for those movies and the Clone Wars television series, which happened. And so that means like everything background story was just declared legends and put in this box away on the shelf. And it's just a huge middle finger to like everyone who ever bothered to buy a Star Wars book or to invest in any kind of Star Wars video game, or invest their time in any kind of Star Wars merchandise. It's just like, screw you guys, that have been with us for years. We're gonna, with Star Wars for years, we're gonna give Star Wars to all these casual, fans that don't know a thing about Revan or Jason Solo. So we're gonna do that, and screw you guys, because you guys are loyal, and we hate that. We want money. We hate loyal fans. They only take us so far, right? I mean, that's basically their mentality going into this movie, and it sickens me, and it's part of the reason why I'm not seeing it. It's just, along with the whole hype train that, oh yeah, this is gonna be like the biggest movie ever, and I feel like a lot of people will see it. It definitely will be big, because it has the name Star Wars plastered all over it, and there's advertising everywhere, every freaking where. It's just, I've been a fan since like I was a child, and growing up in the 90s with no new Star Wars movies until like 99. I just had the books to rely on, and so the expanded universe and those books, they were among the first books I ever read, and it just really saddened me to see that all that history, all that work by all those people is now just like not going to contribute at all. Because you expect, when you read that, you as a child, and you're like, okay, well, this is official. This is officially licensed material, and they release official timelines, and it's in it, and you're like, wow, I'm contributing something. I'm reading, I'm following the history of the movies, or I'm delving into the past of the Star Wars universe. And you expect, maybe, just maybe, in Episode 7 we'll see some of these characters. Nope. And Disney's like, that's real cute, and reboots. Now, how do you imagine how someone like that feels? It's just really. But anyway, there's me and thousands of people like me who are very upset about this, about Legends sort of being thrown out the window and not continued. The only thing from Star Wars Legends that's continuing right now is SOTOR, and that's the only thing I really support from Star Wars now. And it's just like, we want to see storylines. We want to see storylines from the Legends universe, from what's now called an alternate universe. We want to see that resolved, and so far it just hasn't been resolved. We want to see storylines through to completion. right before the reboot, we were supposed to get a new series of Star Wars books, expanded universe books, Sword of the Jedi. Yeah, didn't materialize. Why? Because they're in the middle of a continuity reboot, and now we have books that take place in some new universe that we're not familiar with, and no one wants to refamiliarize themselves, refamiliarize themselves with a universe they grew up with. I mean, or at least I don't. You know, I spent all that time, you know, following up on this story, you know, in one universe, and then, you know, I don't feel obligated to start all over again, you know. So it doesn't appeal to all long-term Star Wars fans. Star Wars Episode 7 isn't gonna be as big as I hoped it would be. There are gonna be a lot of people that are let down, that they're not seeing the characters that they grew up reading about on screen, that they're not seeing a bunch of you know, in-universe, expanded universe material go on screen, because the expanded universe really helped out the Star Wars universe in general, and it was just really a pity, you know, when I heard that there was even a question that they were going to reboot Star Wars, yeah, and I was just like, that's something that Marvel or DC would do, you know, or not even Marvel. Marvel is just, I think, having their first reboot ever, their first like hard reboot of all continuity ever, and DC has done that like maybe 5 or 6 times, you know, but those are comic books where they explain things like, yeah, we have alternate universes, yeah, we have, you know, things like that, so that won't really matter. Star Wars never really had that. Star Trek sort of had that, so a reboot in Star Trek is like understandable, especially when you know that the Prime universe still exists. Yeah, but with Star Wars now, it's like there are 2 universes. There's the original Legends canon, and now there's this new Disney canon, and it's really upsetting. Yeah, I thought it would be a great time to come together as Star Wars fans from all generations to see this next movie, but apparently that won't be the case. You know, I really don't like how George Lucas has gotten treated ever since the prequels. People, you know, especially the original trilogy, you know, you know, dick riders. They always bash George Lucas about his faults. Whether they be in directing the new trilogy and casting Hayden Christensen. A lot of people give him a lot of shit too, because he was, you know, they say he was a bad actor, but I don't think that at all. I thought that there were many key sequences where he showed really powerful emotion, but from what I saw, it seemed like expressing extreme rage was his specialty, or like some kind of hidden anger was his specialty as an actor. But anyway, that's besides the point. A lot of people bash George Lucas, especially OT fans. They're like, oh, he fell off, like especially with Phantom Menace. It was so bad because of Jar Jar, and they just go on about it, and I'm just like, really? Come on, like, complain about the Gungans, yet you have Ewoks in Episode 6, and it's just like, you guys ride the original trilogy so hard. that it makes Star Wars not fun anymore. It's just, you guys are stuck in the past, and Disney is using that. Disney is using you. Disney is using you and your sense of nostalgia to make money. I mean, they're not giving you anything new. I mean, they removed all the good content from the original expanded universe. They're not giving you anything new, really. I mean, it's the same story rehashed, and they're rebooting everything. And that's part of why I hate reboots. I hate reboots with a passion. Very few reboots, especially nowadays, when they're so commonplace, very few reboots are genuinely good. It's a sad attempt to cash grab. That's how I view reboots. And I feel like once you've beaten a story to death, there's no point. Lucas himself said that Episode 7 wasn't likely going to happen. And then I remember reading a news article where he said, well, if you guys want Episode 7, then stop whining about the prequels. And I agreed with him. It's his story. He'll tell it how he wants to tell it. And people need to just stop bitching about it. It's just ridiculous. I would go online and see videos about the prequels and see so many just negative comments. I can imagine how much hate mail he got, and just because of the first 3 movies and just the stigma they got. Why? I mean, Episode 1, 2, and 3 revolutionized Star Wars and the way we saw Star Wars. Don't tell me you weren't hyped when you saw Darth Maul come up with the double-bladed lightsaber. Don't even. It was a breath of fresh air for Star Wars. And people complain about it and complain. People are never happy. People are never happy. No matter what you do, someone's always going to complain. And I'm just sad that Lucas quit. I'm sad that Lucas quit, and he's leaving it up to the real fans now to carry on his legacy. So I guess it's up to us. I guess it's up to the Legends fans to stand up. If you like something, then show that you don't want to see it corrupted. I mean, I feel like Disney is literally just giving long-term Star Wars fans just middle finger and being haha, sucks. You can't do anything about it except not buy it. I mean, just not buy into it. Except not show support for it. That's exactly what I'm doing. I have every right to. So I've recently heard so many complaints about people don't like the new actor because he's black, and just lots of controversy surrounding Star Wars and the new main character and what happens in the new Star Wars movies. And it's just all advertising. I feel like it was just too perfectly set up just to advertise for the film and to get people to not forget, go see it December 18th, I expected that I would see this movie whenever it came out, after Episode 3, and I was like, if Lucas ever makes another one, I'm seeing it. And it's just sad that Lucas isn't even involved. He isn't even really involved because people bitch so much that, Lucas's involvement was too much. Lucas, he ruined his own franchise. I'm like, really? Like, you're gonna tell this man how to direct his own story? Like, I mean, there were various cuts on a lot of the prequel trilogy DVDs where it shows him working with various other people, you know, choosing story elements from the expanded universe, working with various people who had more knowledge of his universe than he did, and he left it up to them, you know, mostly. You know, I mean, he developed the main story, but still, like, you know, it wasn't like it was just him being a tyrant, you know, over everything. You know, it's just like people needed to chill with that, you know, and they were just like accusing him of being like the worst, you know. It's just crazy. It's so stupid when you get fans that think they can direct better than you, like do your job better than you, you know. And I'm sure George Lucas got pissed, you know. It's just that's you. Original trilogy fans. I mean, fans who were like, "Oh my God, the original trilogy was so much better. Like, Empire Strikes Back was the best." You gotta realize people can't stand you. Like, you know, you bash everything that isn't like from 1977 to 1980 whatever, and you guys are just really annoying, and it's just not fun anymore to watch Star Wars. If I'm gonna hear, oh, like, are you watching the good ones? You know, and like, they're all good. They're all part of his story, you know, and the fan division is just really terrible. And that was just part of it, you know. It's just, I'm just sick of hearing everyone bash George Lucas for going with what he felt he was doing right, you know. And Lucas got tired of it too. That's why he sold it. You know, congratulations, you delivered Star Wars into the clutches of Disney, guys. You know, and now the entire franchise is suffering for it. The entire fan base is suffering for it, because now we're gonna have to see mashups of Disney characters and Jedi and Disney characters and Stormtroopers, and have to hear about Chewbacca and see Disney's just pillaging of the entire franchise. Just like, now we have to sit through a reboot and probably never see our characters on screen. Most likely never see our characters on screen. Never get another Legends story. Never get another Star Wars Legends book. Never get another Star Wars Legends video game. So far, the Disney canon video games, they suck. They suck badly. Like, really, mobile games, like some sort of Clash of Clans remake, in a Star Wars game, in a Star Wars sort of skin. Freaking, what was it? Star Wars Battlefront, part of Disney canon. Notice that it's Battlefront, not Battlefront 3. They rebooted. They rebooted everything. And when I say everything, I mean everything. The only game right now, I told you, is SWTOR. That's still in the old canon. Star Wars Battlefront, disastrous reviews. I mean, like, seriously, you have to pay. You could buy 3 games for the cost of the DLC alone, and it's just ridiculous. You know, the fact that people are still, buying it, you know, basically buying a Modern Warfare skin, you know, for some terrible gameplay. It's just like, I can't believe it. It's so like ridiculous how Disney is playing on your need for nostalgia. Disney is playing the original trilogy fans so hard, and it's just like the rest of us have to sit through it and, you know, be like, well, when episode 7 sucks, you know, I'll just be there to say I told you so. You know, I mean, episode 7 probably won't suck. It probably just won't be remarkable. You know, it probably will just be like, meh. It'll be alright. You know, and all the hype about it, you know, considering all the hype about it, you know, I'm not too confident. And, you know, that's basically it. I mean, I've sat here for, half an hour? Really? Talking about my problems as a Star Wars fan, you know? I'm just sad that Star Wars, in one move, in one reboot, can lose so much history, you know, and that people like Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, and whatnot, they won't know. You know, I can guarantee you they're probably not, you know, as involved as some of us are with the books, like some of the books from Timothy Zahn, the Thrawn trilogy, like, they're popular examples. Even the more recent Fate of the Jedi books, they were awesome. I bought like all of them, read all of them, you know, and I couldn't wait for the next ones to come out. And then, you know, when the Disney reboot came out, I was just like, fuck. You know, we were just about to get a new set of books, you know, and it's just like, you know, now we'll never see them. You know, it's just disheartening. I could rant about this forever because I'm a passionate fan, you know, but you know, my friend makes fun of me all the time. He's like, yeah, yo, you should go see episode 7, man. You know, it's just, doesn't matter if it's a reboot, dude. You should just go. And I'm just like, oh, you're such a tool, dude. You know, like, seriously, bro. Like you'll just see anything if it has a Star Wars label slapped onto it. He bought Battlefront, and I was laughing at him because he paid all that money for a half-finished game, and then has to spend like another $100 for DLC. And he's telling me, oh, it's okay, man. Like, the DLC is great, dude. You know, really? I looked at some of the DLC online, and you get like dance emotes and like, you know, like special emotes, and it's just stupid. You know, I don't even know why people invest their money in that, you know, in DLC anymore. It's just crazy. You know, it used to be that you play through a game and you reach a certain point, you enter some cheat codes, or you just, you know, play through and accomplish some things, and you can unlock new levels and new content. But it's not the case anymore. So bottom line is, reason why I'm not seeing episode 7. A, Disney rebooted the franchise, the entire franchise, everything. B, since Disney rebooted the franchise and gave a giant FU to everyone, Star Wars, fans of Star Wars books and all that, I'm just boycotting their stuff. I have no reason to be a Star Wars fan anymore if they're not continuing or staying true to the integrity of the franchise. Yeah. And see, there's just way too much fan division, and Disney is clearly appealing to casuals and people that know nothing about Star Wars. Like, all these casuals. You wasn't with me when I was shooting in the gym?
Bitch, you wasn't with me shooting in the gym? Bitch, you wasn't with me shooting in the gym?
Yeah, all these Johnny-come-latelys, you know, to the franchise. and they're so desperate too. They're just like so desperate to appeal to everyone. I'm just, you know, it's just no. I couldn't give it a chance. No. And lastly, they have the way they treated George Lucas, just like utter shit. You know, and I feel bad. Just the feels, man. But anyway, yeah, come December 18th, I'll just probably be boycotting. I wish I had a really cool cosplay of Revan or something like that, so that I could encourage people to do the same. But if you're a Star Wars Legends fan and you feel some sort of way about Episode 7, just leave it in the comments, post a reply. Hey, even if you don't like my opinion, I really don't give a shit. But, yeah, just, I have every right to say what I have to say. Like, comment, subscribe, do whatever. I guess I appreciate you viewing this video. Alright, Coach Julio, signing out.